What's up, guys? It's Dan from Coin Bureau Trading, back at it again with another crypto market update. Today we've got XRP, Stellar, and Hedera. I'm sure you're all wondering what these cryptos are up to. Are they going to pump? What comes next? If this is the kind of content that you enjoy, then be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ping that notification bell. Before we get started, do keep in mind that nothing in this video is financial advice. It's just my personal analysis of these cryptos. Your analysis could be different, and if it is, guys, that's awesome, because the more difference of opinion we have, the better traders, the better investors we're all going to become. With that being said, when it comes to XRP, there's something that I think a lot of people are missing, and that's basically there's a wallet in XRP's ecosystem called Salmon or however it's pronounced. And for those of you who are really into the weeds with XRP, you guys will know that this is basically, I would argue, like basically the top XRP wallet in the ecosystem. And what's really crazy is that the founder and CEO, this Weitze Wind guy, again, I apologize if I'm butchering the name there, but in my opinion, this is the guy who is, I don't want to say single-handedly, but I do think that he is going to basically help XRP perform extremely well, for the simple reason that the wallet he's building, the Salmon wallet, is fantastic. And as you might have heard, they're going to be introducing a new swap function with their 3.3.3 version, which is interesting because this 3.3.3 also, I think, is kind of like, I don't want to say a shout out, but a reference to the same strategy that's being used by the Trump administration, Scott Bessent. I'm sure this is probably just a coincidence. Who knows? Maybe it's on purpose. The point being, guys, is that Salmon, and this is where I think things are going to get really interesting with XRP, XRP has a massive community. There's a lot of people who hold it, but there's not much, like, let's be real, guys, like there's not that much you can do with XRP, the asset. Like, of course, the XRP ledger has a whole bunch of stuff like with tokenization, and I know that there's like on-demand liquidity and all that type of stuff. But in terms of like doing advanced DeFi stuff, right? Like, this is something that is currently not possible. And the gateway to do that is going to be probably the Salmon wallet. And of course, like I just mentioned, they're going to be introducing the swap function, which is awesome, especially when you consider, the addition, or the recent launch rather, of Ripple's Real USD or RLUSD stablecoin. This ties into something else that I think a lot of people have completely forgotten about, and that's that XRP is working on an EVM sidechain. It's actually based on Cosmos, which is super interesting. That tells me that a lot of that liquidity is going to flow into the Cosmos ecosystem, which is something I mentioned to our Coin Bureau Club members, but I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole there. Point being, guys, is that the XRPL EVM sidechain is set to launch sometime in early 2025. Not sure if you missed it, but we're in early 2025. And I do think that this launch is going to come sooner rather than later. And to my understanding, Salmon is going to be integrating this EVM sidechain. Of course, and I think Ripple itself is working on a borrowing and lending protocol for XRP. And this is going to unlock, I honestly think, like tens of billions of dollars of value that is going to flow into the rest of the crypto ecosystem, primarily into XRP's ecosystem, and also, I think, into the Cosmos ecosystem as a consequence of the XRPL EVM sidechain being built on Cosmos. And of course, because it's EVM, a lot of that could also find its way into other EVM chains. Anyways, point being that this, I guess, two catalysts here, it's kind of like the Salmon wallet, introducing the swap feature, and then soon to come the XRP EVM sidechain, which is going to add even more functionality to XRP. And again, Salmon is going to be like the front end for this, so definitely keep your eyes peeled for what this wallet is up to. It's going to kind of help you guys get a sense of what could come next for XRP. That brings me perfectly here to the charts, where, literally nothing has changed, I guess. We've been looking basically at the same chart now here for a few weeks, possibly even longer. This, again, the way that I kind of analyze prices here is I just look at the starting point of this most recent move. We're on the daily chart here, guys, always on the daily. I'm not like zooming in too much or zooming out too much. Just looking at the daily chart, the starting point of this most recent move was clearly around $1.5. The resistance, like where prices were struggling to get above, is clearly somewhere around $2.5. And all we have to do to find the target is we take the difference between those two levels, which in this case is $1, and that gives us a target of $3.5, which was almost hit. I think XRP hit like $3.4 back in mid-January roughly. But I do think that XRP is going to be, rallying back up to that target here potentially by the end of the month. I guess potentially in March. But if I think about it logically, crypto is not always logical, but if XRP is going to be launching an EVM sidechain, in my mind, it would make sense to make this announcement around the time of ETH Denver, which comes later this month, so between February 23rd and March 2nd. So it would not surprise me in the slightest if they announce, hey, we've launched, because it's currently in testnet. So they could say, hey, we've launched like a limited or public beta or something like this, right? Like in the next stage in the XRP L EVM sidechain. It would make sense for them to announce that during this, like, I guess, a big Ethereum conference, not in the conference, but like as a side announcement. I mean, but yeah. Anyways, guys, point being that I do think that XRP is going to get back above this resistance level soon enough. It's technically hovering right around that level as I shoot this video, and I do think it's going to break back above, go for that $3.5 target. And as I've been saying, guys, I do think that XRP is going to hit an all-time high somewhere between $4 to $5. I suspect that it's going to chop within that range. Maybe it'll go to like 5.5 or something, right? Like surprise to the upside, but it's going to be a classic distribution pattern as whales kind of take profits. And not only that, guys, but I think that it's in the interest of XRP holders, whether it's Ripple or even XRP whales, they want XRP's price to stay high so they can use it as collateral in DeFi for this type of stuff that I was just mentioning. And it's going to create a very fascinating dynamic where I do think that a lot of the RLUSD minting, like the main reason why RLUSD is going to grow is because people are going to use, basically mint it to, like, they're going to borrow RLUSD against XRP. That's my personal prediction, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Anyways, guys, as you might have noticed, we were using Binance there. You can get up to 20% trading fee discount and $600 in bonuses using the Coin Bureau deals page. These deals don't cost you a thing. They're completely free. And these trading fee discounts do help out a lot, even if you're not a whale. If you're just trading frequently with a few $100s, a few $1,000s, those trading fees do add up. I know that from experience. And yeah, guys, like, it's completely free. The exchange gets a new user, you get a trading fee discount, and we get a cut of those trading fees. That's how the Coin Bureau makes its money. We're not sponsored by Ethereum. We're not sponsored by Solana. We're not sponsored by Ripple. We don't care what your favorite crypto is. If you're interested in buying, selling, or trading it, we're basically here just to give you the tools with our affiliate links, and that's how we make our money. It's an honest business, let's say, relative to other, especially relative to other YouTube channels. Crypto YouTube channels rather. Anyway, moving on now, guys, to Stellar. Same kind of story here. It looks like ETH Denver is going to be a very big catalyst for lots of crypto projects, Stellar being one of them. And again, I know it's a little bit strange, but ETH Denver is, I guess, a very big, very well-known conference in Ethereum's ecosystem, and it seems that a lot of crypto projects are planning to have like side events, and I expect that there's going to be lots of announcements there. Of course, Stellar has been angling a lot towards payments and real-world assets and stuff like this, which is also, I think, going to do very well. Stablecoin regulations have already been tabled in the House and Senate, and I do think that those are going to come in short order. And as soon as we start to see progress on those, then I do think that XLM is going to start rallying. And I do think, as I've been saying, and I'm going to say it every single time we cover these cryptos, I do think that XLM is following XRP. And you can see here, guys, I'll actually go back and kind of show you the difference here. So we could make the case that like XLM is somewhere in this stage, right? Like, so this was XRP late last year, early January, and you can see that XLM is kind of in the same kind of phase. So we could see the same kind of scenario here where we get an XLM rally, up to this resistance, and then possibly almost all the way up to this target, and then a little bit of a consolidation maybe into April, and then another move higher to the all-time highs, which is kind of like what we're seeing here with XRP, but XRP is ahead by, let's say, a month or so, which is super fascinating. But I do think XLM is going to make for a very good catch-up trade. Right now, it's been chopping between this range that we've been tracking for a while now, between 24 cents and 54 cents, and I do think it's probably going to keep chopping there, but I do think that the recovery up to that resistance is going to come sooner than later. And in case it wasn't clear enough, I do believe that the catalyst for this rally back up to this resistance level will be some ETH Denver stuff later this month. You can even see, like, mentally, you can see that you have like this down move, you have like a rally, another down move, and then you could see how this would turn into kind of like something that looks like a double bottom pattern, but is really just like a consolidation before a move higher. Same thing like we saw here with XRP, where you saw kind of like a similar pattern. Of course, there was a little bit of a rally here, but you see like a down move, an up move, a down move, and then like a big recovery. And I think that we're going to see the same thing here with XLM by the end of the month, maybe into early March. And I know it's frustrating, guys. I've been saying this for a while now, but you just have to be patient. And those who are patient will be rewarded, and you have to keep your head straight and not be tempted to rotate into other cryptos. That's another big mistake in my personal opinion. Anyways, guys, moving on now to Hedera. This is something that I've been pounding the table about, I think, for a few weeks now. Hedera has a very big event coming up here on February 25th, of course, which overlaps with ETH Denver. And as I've been mentioning, guys, this is their first user conference since 2018. I'm personally not a HBAR holder. I'm not like shilling my bags here or anything, but I'm just underscoring the fact that of these ISO 20022 cryptos, I do think, like I've been saying it every time, and I'm going to continue to say it. I do think that HBAR is kind of the most undervalued, the one that could surprise to the upside the most, just because it's not one that's really been on the radar that much. But I do think it's one that will be on the radar. And when we go over to the charts here, we can see quite clearly that, yep, like by the end of the month, by February 25th, that could be the catalyst that takes HBAR back up to this resistance level. And I mean, we'll have to wait and see what takes it above that resistance. Maybe the announcements that come later this month will be enough. We'll have to wait and see. But in the meantime, of course, we're going to be chopping in this range. And what's interesting, guys, is again, if we go back here to XRP and kind of compare it to HBAR, we see kind of like a similar pattern here. And in this case, it's a little bit more similar to like, of course, XLM really seems to be lagging, but in this case, HBAR seems to be tracking XRP a bit more. It's just been a little bit weaker, you can see. And I do think that that's because there hasn't been any clear narrative around HBAR. Like, of course, XRP, it's kind of well known in terms of being used like for this how would I explain this? Like basically as a bridge currency, right, between different currencies. HBAR doesn't have that same kind of strong narrative. It's not really clear. It's like, okay, what makes HBAR different than XRP? This is the type of stuff that results in kind of like weakness relative to XRP. But I do think that HBAR is going to follow, and once it becomes clear, which hopefully later this month there'll be some clarity, let's say around the narrative. I do think that'll be enough to get it back up to this resistance and up to that target. And of course, in percentage terms, the gains there would be much larger than they would be for XRP. Specifically, you'd be looking, I believe, at roughly more than a 2x from the current level. Anyways, guys, of course, I do need to show the Coin Bureau Club. That's where we do deep dives into promising small cap altcoins and mid caps. In these kinds of market conditions, we're looking at mid caps as well. The way that we pick those altcoins is we do a weekly poll, and the way that we pick the altcoins in the poll is that we basically do a combination of the altcoins that we find in our research and a combination of the altcoins that are suggested by our members, and then whichever one wins is the one we review. We have a research feed where I'm sharing the types of insights that I'm sharing at the end of this video is the type of stuff that I share in the research feed every single day. And of course, we have other members of the research team here who are sharing their insights as well, which is super interesting stuff. We have a team portfolio where you can see the cryptos we hold as well as the cryptos we're considering buying, and we have an exclusive deals page where you can get discounts on like crypto analytics platforms. And last but not least, we do have a members Discord where you can ask us questions, discuss the crypto market, and all that kind of stuff. With that being said, it's about time I give you guys some alpha, and this kind of ties into what I posted in the research feed today. Actually, what you guys are looking at here is the total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin, and I just want to put this out there for you guys to understand, where kind of we are in the cycle, so to speak. So as you can see here, guys, it's historically basically from back in, let's say, in the 2017 cycle, once we saw the total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin get back above, that previous all-time high, which happened in early February of 2021, the crypto market basically exploded, and it saw what is that, like 6 months or 8 months of basically up-only price action. And I do think that we're in a similar stage here. You could make the case that, like this is more like the rally from like the spring and blah blah blah, but like, again, guys, don't get too caught up. Like, this is the thing that I notice a lot is when people are looking like at past price action, they really get caught up in the details and like the specific moves. It's like, forget about the specific moves, just think more about the structure. What is the structure? So the structure quite clearly in this case is that when a previous all-time high is surpassed, then we see an explosive move. We almost saw the previous all-time high surpassed here in December, but of course there was a rejection and it fell, so we're still waiting for that to happen. And once it does, then we should see another parabolic move to the upside. And in my opinion, a very simple way of calculating how much the total crypto market cap will go outside of Bitcoin is pretty simple. We basically just need to look at like, okay, what was the magnitude of the move in the last cycle? So from the previous all-time high break of 2018 to the 2021 all-time high, the total crypto market cap increased by roughly 4x. So we can assume diminishing returns and say, okay, then it'll probably be roughly 2x, maybe 2.5x, if we have a little bit of leeway, because some of this price action is like leverage and blah, blah, blah. So we could say between 2 to 2.5x from the November 2021 high is what the 2025 high is going to be for the total crypto market cap cap excluding BTC, and that's going to bring us to a market cap of somewhere between 3.5 and 4 billion. And of course, right now we're sitting around 1.2. So you could expect to see on average, again, doesn't mean every single altcoin is going to get this, but you can expect to see on average, especially for altcoins that are mid caps and small caps, an average return of at least, I would say, 2 to 3x. It might not sound like a lot, but some altcoins will go up a lot more than that. Some will go up less than that. A lot of these gains will come from, again, altcoins that are mid caps and small caps. The large cap altcoins, like Ethereum and XRP and these guys, they're probably not going to like 2 or 3x or 4x. In Ethereum's case, maybe it'll pull another 2 or 3x. Same thing with Solana, maybe like a 4 or 5x. Even for XRP at this level, maybe a 2x, possibly a 3x. I wouldn't go that far. But point being, guys, is that you have to think of it as kind of like a distribution of returns, where the large cap altcoins will see smaller returns, mid caps will see decent returns, let's say between 5x and 10x, and then small caps will see returns, let's say, of 10 to 20x, and then as like an average return. But when you average it out across the entire market cap with like the large caps and mid caps and small caps, you end up with something closer to a 3x, right? I hope that makes sense. Anyways, guys, but yeah, it's really useful, to really zoom out and just look at like the previous patterns in history and realize, okay, we're still in the early stage. You could say, okay, maybe we're in like the equivalent of the early 2021 phase here, and this is what it is. Again, like it makes no sense to obsess over these little details. The point is that we are in this phase of the cycle where we should see an explosive move to the upside. And I do think, at least personally, I do think it's going to be pretty easy to figure out when cryptos are topping, because you're going to feel like prices are going to go up forever and you're not going to want to sell. When you see that, when you're having that feeling, chances are it's time to sell. And of course, right now, everyone's feeling the opposite way. Everyone thinks it's over. They've been holding for this whole, 3-year or 4-year period, and they're just sick of it, and they just want to sell everything and leave. And many of them already have, it's easy to forget. The ones who are still sticking around, I actually think many people have already thrown in the towel, taken profits, they have bills to pay, stuff like that. And with all those weak hands washed out, with this really brutal grind here over the last month, 2 months, it's a perfect environment for altcoins to start surprising to the upside again. Anyways, guys, if you did make it this far, then be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, ping that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one.